If you want to return to exercise after you have had a break for some reason, maybe you've had pain, maybe you've had an injury, maybe you haven't found what you wanted to do and you want to start exercising again, what is the key things that you need to think about? So in terms of if you're beginning exercise again, the most important thing is basically working out what you want to achieve from your exercise. So there's no point going and starting something like boot camp or running or gym work if what you actually want to do is get more flexible. There is no point doing something like a stretch program to gain flexibility when what you're actually looking for is cardio fitness. So in order to sort of ascertain what type of exercise you want to do and what type of exercise would be best suited for you, think about what your goals are. What is it that you want from your exercise program? So if you want cardio, then obviously we're going to have to look at something that gives you that cardio, something that is elevating your heart rate. If you want something that's a little bit more joint stimulation, tendon, muscle, bone growth stimulation, you want to do something that's going to be a little bit more weighted and resisted so that it gives you that strength aspect, or that sort of loading or capacity aspect. If you want to do something where you actually think, look, I'm getting a bit stiff, my joints are a bit more achy, and I need a little bit more flexibility because I'm losing mobility, then you want to look at something that's going to give you that sort of stretch and length, as well as allow you to gain some strength as well. So the key thing when you're looking at an exercise program is, what is it you want to do? And most of us we sort of go, oh, I need to exercise, what can I do? And we have a little look and pick something randomly, and thinking that that's what everyone else is doing, or we think that's something I might enjoy, or we think, oh, I just need it to be simple and easy. So there's a lot of key aspects that need to be addressed. Have you got time for it? How much time are you going to allocate to it? Is it something that you want to do on your own? Is it something that you want to go out and make a commitment to, so you've actually got some accountability, which is where all the group programs and going to a class or signing up for something that is online at a certain time and day is very, very good at, because it gives you that accountability aspect, especially if you pay in advance for it, because if you paid for it, you're most likely to do it. What's not quite as easy is when you have to self-motivate. So if you're deciding that you're going to go for a walk every morning, you're going to go for a swim after work, you're going to do something in the evening, whether it's stretching or what have you, and when you don't have that flexibility, you don't have that accountability aspect, it makes it a lot harder then to stay accountable, unless you've got some sort of buddy that you're being accountable for. So there's a lot of variables that go into what you choose to do. There's also a lot of variables that go into where and how and why things work. So if people sort of say to me, look, I'm trying to do this and it doesn't work, and I always fail, or I fall off the wagon, you've got to look at the three sort of main things. Is, what type of things are you trying to achieve? What type of activity will suit you and you'll enjoy, and also what kind of motivation you've got behind it. So the number one thing, do you want cardio, do you want fitness, do you want flexibility, do you want strength? What is it that you want to achieve from the exercise you're doing? And that will give you an idea of what way to go. The next aspect is obviously your time and your commitment aspect. So, is it something you want to do at home? Is it something you want to do after work? Are you able to allocate time to it? How much time have you got? If you're looking at something cardio-based, something like that, you might only need to do 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 2-3 times a week. If you're looking at, a flexibility program, to gain flexibility, you need to be doing something daily, because otherwise you don't improve. So you've got to be aware of that kind of aspect to it. And the last sort of thing that is really your accountability and motivation. Are you the type of person that can just self-motivate and you can get up and do it yourself? Or do you need some kind of accountability to keep you basically motivated and accountable, and someone else is relying on you, or you've paid cash towards it, so it makes you do it because you've made a commitment. And they're sort of the big three sort of topics that, when you sort of go deeper into why people fail and why people succeed, and you know what you need to be aware of when you're choosing something, they're the sort of big things. Why do you want to do it? How much time have you got to do it? Do you need somebody to help you be accountable? And you know, if you're looking at group training programs, if you're looking at something that you have to physically go to and attend, they tend to work the best because they kind of make you very accountable. If you're not somebody that likes people, you don't want to, you don't like going out, and you don't like being seen in public, and there's a lot of people who are in that boat. You don't like exercising in public, or you know, the other side of it is maybe you just don't have the time and you actually need to do something at home. So you know, we've got a home gym at home because when my kids were little, and my husband's a shift worker, he found it very hard to be able to get out to go to the gym, and when he goes to the gym he likes to be gone 2 hours, you know, travel there, hour and a half in the gym, travel back, and it's very common he'll spend 2 hours there because that's what he likes, that's what he enjoys. And when we had little kids, it was very inaccessible for him to look after the kids and go out, so we ended up getting a little mini gym set up at home so he could do what he needed to do at home, and that works for him because he doesn't mind working on his own. And a gym type of program is very solitary anyway. You're basically working with yourself, and you don't need to be in a group setting. You go and do what you need to do, you rest when you need to rest, you do your reps when you need to do, and that works for him. For me, I can't think of anything worse than going to a gym and doing 3 sets of 10 and then going and waiting to do it. Like, I get bored stupid after 2 exercises. So I generally respond better to something where I've got variety. So something that's maybe a group type of activity, you know, running around like an idiot, and doing maybe group kind of stuff. So I'm constantly stimulated and I'm constantly having something that keeps my interest. Gym, yeah, no, it doesn't cut it for me. Swimming, running, that type of activity where, you know, after a couple of minutes you're doing the same thing, I just get bored and I can't stand it. So you've really got to play to your strengths. What are your strengths? What do you enjoy? What have you got time to do? And how much motivation and self-motivation or accountability do you need? Well, once you've worked that out, you can't really fail because you're ticking all the boxes that make you tick. For me, like I said, if I had to go to a gym 3 times a week for an hour and a half, yeah, I just wouldn't do it. I'd maybe manage twice and then that's it, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. But if I've got something to do, like say a step class or an aerobic class or some sort of class that's changeable and it's interesting and it's varied and I'm doing something different every time and I don't know what's coming next, that would definitely keep me motivated because it's, you know, it's the variety that keeps you motivated. So your only other variables on top of that are really what your body is doing and what your body is capable of, and whether you have any pre-existing injury, pre-existing training, pre-existing muscle imbalances that could maybe flare up or possibly restrict or hinder what you're doing. And you know, a lot of that we tend to know. We might have a bit of a back issue, or we might have an old knee injury or an old shoulder injury, and that then is adapting and being aware of what your adaptations need to be to exercise. And that is something that if you then go on board with and carry on with, that you might need a bit of help from an expert to give you some guidance as to how to change what you're doing and what needs happening. So in view of all of that, what do you want to achieve? How are you going to do it, and what time commitment are you going to do it? How accountable do you need to be to do what you're doing? Can you self-motivate or not? Do you want to go out and do it outside of the home, or is it something that you can do within your home via an online setup? And lastly, how is your body going to manage? Do you have any pre-existing issues or things that might need help? So in light of all of that, we have a program starting soon, or a program going, which is Get Moving Again. If that would be something that interests you, online, so you do have to self-motivate for it, let me know. I would love to help you.